Tom, plenty of people have opinions about the new bridge over the Mobile River. Tolls is a big question, but another generated plenty of discussion at two recent public hearings in our area.
Fox News reporter Steve Alexander takes a closer look at what's really a hot-button issue.
And that issue is whether the bridge should have a bicycle and pedestrian lane. The builders of a South Carolina bridge that served as a model for our project face the same question. That bridge is called the Ravenel Bridge, and photojournalist Robert Brown and I traveled to Charleston to see how they answered it. Thousands of drivers a day use the Ravenel Bridge that connects Charleston and Mount Pleasant, South Carolina. But pedestrians and cyclists can cross the bridge too. Joe Riley is the mayor of Charleston and was mayor when the Ravenel Bridge was built.
The bike pedestrian path has become a community absolute treasure. I mean, people just love it. You can't, I mean, it can be pouring down rain and there'll be people out there walking, or biking, or jogging, and then, you know, when the weather's nice.
Billy Swales is the former mayor of Mount Pleasant.
When that bridge was originally designed, it did not have a bike, pedestrian, and a bike path on it.
And that was the mindset. We've never done it before. We can't afford this bridge. We certainly can't afford a bike and pedestrian lane.
Robert CLAIR was the Special Projects Engineering Director for the South Carolina Department of Transportation when the Ravenel Bridge was being built. He says the decision to add the pedestrian and bike lane went right down to the last minute.
But the public kept pressing on, and they had a lot of advocates for bike and pedestrian lane. They went out and they got school kids, they petitioned, they brought children to all the public meetings. We want a bike lane.
Now there's a pedestrian lane here on the bridge and also a bicycle lane. This is the pedestrian lane, this is the bicycle lane, and as you might imagine, the bicycle lane is wider on this side of the bridge. The paths are separated from the roadway by a concrete barrier. The grade on the Ravenel Bridge is 4%. Throughout the day, you can find many people crossing the bridge on foot or on a bicycle.
I walk on it quite a bit, almost every day.
Almost every day?
Yeah.
Even in the hot sun like this?
Yeah, sometimes I get rained on, but it's still a beautiful view and it's just nice.
We ran into visitors from Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. Had you heard about this and wanted to come see it, or?
That's not the reason I came, but it was something I wanted to do before I got down here.
Oh, I think it's wonderful.
There was only one criticism that we heard.
And I wish the lane would be a little bigger for walking because the bikers are on the other side, you know, so it would be nicer to be a little bit bigger for the bikers.
But there is another concern about pedestrian bike paths on bridges: cost.
Yes, it costs more money, there's no question about it.
How much more money? The Ravenel Bridge cost $632 million to build. And the cost of adding the pedestrian bike path?
It was like $12 million.
That was less than 2% of the total cost of the bridge.
The cost is really modest because you've got the bridge, you've got all that concrete, you've got all the structures, so putting a 10-foot appendage to it in the overall cost is, you know, is not that much.
In the big scheme of things, it's you know, like getting a different set of tires on a new car.
The government and civic leaders in Charleston were not familiar with the details of the federal study on the Mobile River Bridge. But when asked their thoughts on whether we should include a pedestrian and bike path on our bridge, what did they say?
If we build bridges and roads where there's not pedestrian and bike paths, we're making a mistake.
Don't even think of not doing it.
The official comment period for our bridge has ended. But the next step for the Alabama Department of Transportation is to develop a report which will summarize the comments received during the comment period. That report is expected to be released the beginning of next month.